What is up guys, NeoNexudus here, bringing you a deck profile of my Volcanics for the April 1st, 2015 format. We've lost some cards, we've gained some cards, let's get into it. 3 Volcanic Rockets, your heart and soul of the deck, gets you your Blaze Accelerator reload and allows your combo plays. It's a 1900 beat stick, so it makes things hard to get over it. We've got 3 Volcanic Scattershots, the best part of the deck. You send it to the grave via a Blaze Accelerator card, destroys all your opponent's monsters, and inflicts them for 500 for each Volcanic Scattershot sent to the graveyard. So we got 3 Volcanic Shells for ammo. We got 3 Royal Firestorm Guards. I cannot stress how good having it at 3 is. You will bound to, at some point, dead draw 1, but I would rather have it at 3 than have it at 2, because playing it at 2, I always saw it, and I never wanted to waste a summon on it. Whereas if you run 3, you can waste a summon and overlay with it if you really want to. But having 3 is just so good for the recyclability. What this guy does is you shuffle 4 Pyros back into your deck, and you draw 2 cards. It's a Pot of Avarice on legs. You got 2 Summon a Monk, which is used to pitch a spell, special summon your Volcanic Rocket, or this next monster we got coming up, Tractrix Murmillo. When you special summon Tractrix Murmillo for Summon Monk, he's like an MST, which is really, really good. And when he is normal summoned, you get to add a Trap Hole card from your deck to your hand, which is brilliant considering Tractrix Trap Hole Nightmare is so good this format. So yeah, 2 Summon Monk and 2 of these guys. Going on to the spells now. We got 3 Pot of Duality for our digging ability. Dig through our deck, get our key cards. We got 2 Magic Planter. I'm still running 2, even though we lost 2 Vanities, because we still got 3 Blaze Accelerator and I still run 3 Fiendish Chain. Spoilers on the trap lineup. But yeah, it's just too good not to run, at least at 2. Some people like to run 3, I like 2. But you know, being able to send your face-up continuous track cards to the grave to draw 2 cards is too good. I'm still running the 3 MSTs. Some people dropped MST because they feel that because of the minimal amount of floodgates left in the game, now that Vanities and Skill Drain have been hit, they don't feel like MST is worth running anymore. I'd rather have the MST as a preemptive measure against the one main decked Vanities Emptiness that everyone and their mother is going to be running, and the possible main decked 1 Skill Drain, should I go against Cleeds or some other deck that can abuse Skill Drain. I'd rather have the MST there to solve the problem than to auto-lose game 1. 1 Raigeki, 1 Book of Moon, and 1 Foolish Burial. Raigeki for destroying your opponent's shit, Book of Moon for extra protection, and Foolish Burial for setting up plays. On to the traps now. We have 3 Blaze Accelerator reloads. It's our key combo piece of the deck. You send a Volcanic card from your hand to the graveyard and you draw 1 card, and then during either player's main phase you can banish this card from the graveyard to send 1 Volcanic card from your deck to your graveyard. So it's just all about the scattershots. All about them scattershots. About them scattershots. 3 Fiendish Chain for all our Magic Planters, and because we hate effects. 2 Tractrix Trap Hole Nightmare to go with our 2 Tractrix Murmillo. This card is just so good this format because most things activate their effects on the turn they're special summoned, e.g. Necros, e.g. Exceeds. You know, no one's going to special summon a monster and not activate its effect on the turn it's summoned, so there are very rare cases where that happens, but most of the time this card is just live and you can just negate and blow up shit. So it's a sort of pseudo Vanities. It doesn't stop them special summoning, but when they activate their effects, their monster's just going to go. 2 Mirrorforce, because we like our protection. Our #1 Vanities, sad face. Our 1 Bottomless, and our 1 Ring of Destruction, aka Rod. Ring of Destruction, it seems, was just made for this deck. As some people put it, Volcanics are just a glorified burn deck. In some aspects they are. And this card just helps them out so much. You can burn 1500 points of damage out of them with Scattershot. And you can cowboy them, and then you can just flip Rod in their turn, and that will be game right there. So, yeah, those are the traps. Onto the extra deck. For the extra deck, we have one Heartland Drago to attack the game. We have one Ragnar Zero for blowing up monsters with higher attack points than their original attack points, e.g. Fire Fist and Cleese. One Karrigan Anti-Luminescent Knight for changing targets. One Silent Honor Arc. I want to quickly talk about this card because a lot of people have been saying that Honor Arc is now bad and that you should just run double Castel instead. But Castel doesn't always remove the problem. Honor Arc actually nom-nom-noms on the monster. It can protect itself and can sometimes create situations which Castel is not suited for. One Merrigeist just to shuffle shit back into the deck, annoying shit like the hands. One Black Ship of Khorne, one Skyblaster Castel, one Diamond Direwolf, one Exton Knight, one Dagusto Emerald. It's like your fourth Royal Fast on Guards. This card is just so good. Your two Lavalval Chains, because sometimes one is just not enough. This card can set up your next turn plays, it can send shit to the graveyard. It's just so versatile in this deck. This card is your boss monster more than anything else. Your one Abyss Dweller for graveyard dependent decks. Your one Good Cowboy for the game. And your one Bohemian Rhapsody in Berserk. So yeah, that's the main deck. Onto the side deck. The side deck, as it currently consists of, is one Thunder King, double Twister, one Shared Ride, one Mistake, because I only have one of each of these guys, Shared Ride and Mistake, two Light Mirror, two Shadow Mirror, two Mind Drain, two Imperial Iron Wall, and two Mind Crush. I want to take a minute to talk about a quick card ruling recently discovered. Now, it's Volcanic Scattershot, wherever he is. There he is. As most of you know, you send into the graveyard to destroy all your opponent's monsters and then burn them for 1500 damage. Now, I always thought that drawing into two of these cards, or having two in hand, was just so dead, unless you obviously had the third. I thought you literally had to have all three in hand, or one in hand, two in deck, to activate the effect. Apparently this is not true. I've been looking all over the internet at rulings, and I've come to a sort of semi-conclusion that if you have two of these Scattershots in hand, that it doesn't matter, because you can still send one from Blaze Accelerator, draw a card, then send the other one from your hand and the other one from your deck to activate the field nuking and burning for 1500, yada yada. Because according to Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki, in the OCG rulings, after this card is sent to the graveyard by the effect of a Blaze Accelerated card, if the effect that destroys all monsters your opponent controls is activated, two Volcanic Scattershots are sent from your hand and or deck to the graveyard as a cost. Now, as we can see on the Volcanic Scattershot card itself, it just says hand deck. You have to remember this card is very, very old. It's out of Force of the Breaker, I do believe. Yes, Force of the Breaker. And that was many sets ago, and it has not had another print since. So, going by these OCG rulings on Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki, I would say that Volcanic Scattershot is never dead. Never. Please feel free to direct me to a ruling that says otherwise, but according to this OCG ruling, I can send one Scattershot from hand to draw a card off a Blaze Accelerator Reload, and then trigger the effect to send the other one from hand and the other one from deck to blow up all monsters. And then obviously the burning for the 500 happens after that on a separate chain. This makes this card even better than I originally thought, and I have lost so many games because I've had double Scattershot in hand thinking I can only send if all 3 are in hand, or 1 in hand, 2 in deck. But according to this ruling, I should be able to activate the effect of Volcanic Scattershot, even if I have 2 in hand and 1 left in deck. Let me know what you think about this deck profile, guys, and what you think about this ruling. I'd be really interested in your thoughts. Until next time, this is NeoNexudus signing out.